Hi, this is Professor Shaun Foster, and in this video we're going to do UV seams and how to use the Maya 3D Paint tool to mark areas on your UVs, as well as to do seamless painting across seams. So here we are in Maya. First of all, how do you see the seams? On your Polygons menu under the UV texture editor, you can turn on the seams. And so usually you want to place your seams in an area that's as inconspicuous as possible. So I've got two seams, one here and one here. I'm actually just going to move and close this seam and leave this one. So I've already made the necessary cut here. Pretty much all I need to do is select the texture here, and I'll move and sew the texture, and I'll nudge this back into the 0 to 1 space. So now how do I know what part of this corresponds to what part of this? Well, a useful technique is to mark it up using the Maya 3D Paint tool, and you can get to that by hitting F6, and we'll go under Texturing, 3D Paint tool, and you need to make this object ready for texturing. So just to make it a little easier to see, I'm going to put just a non-checker. So there's a blend on there, and we'll go back under Texturing, 3D Paint tool, and I'm going to set it to Paint, and then I'm going to assign a texture, and now I'm ready to paint. And so you can use whatever conventions you want. You could say, okay, this is the up direction, and maybe, you know, this is where the very top of the object is. But anyways, make whatever symbols you want to identify where you want to paint. So the next part is, how do you deal with, maybe you have some sort of nice pattern and you want to mark in a way that goes across this seam. And so if you imagine this being a pattern, there's a clone stamp inside of this painting tool, very similar to the one in Photoshop. So you just turn on the clone, and then what you need to do, just like in Photoshop, you need to set the clone source. So if I set that as the clone source, then if I started painting over here, you should see black, but it's taking black sampled from that area right over there. And that's pretty much it. And the clone stamp is really great for painting across seams. When you're done, I guess I'll save the textures. And where do those textures go? That's worth showing. They go into your Source Images folder inside the 3D Paint Textures folder. So there it is. In fact, you can also see them if you go back to the Edit UVs view. You can see them here as well. And so now when you output the UV snapshot, you take this UV snapshot of your shells and then combine it with the image that you've created in the 3D Paint textures. And there you go. You have a really great reference for where to start laying out your textures. So thanks so much for watching.